Something that I'm realizing more and more and learning the value of the older that I get, it's the power of slowing down. Much of the time we are buzzing around with a dysregulated nervous system in fight or flight, and we're not very conscious or mindful throughout the day. And in spite of the fact of, maybe spending 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes meditating in the morning, I found that there'd be days where I still felt like I was living on autopilot. Like the days were getting away from me, like I was living compulsively and very reactively. And then I started discovering the power of just slowing down and creating moments of awareness throughout the day, mindfulness throughout the day. Not always needing to rush around, because I found that the more that I rushed around, the more that I felt like I had to get things done out of urgency, the more I fed that dysregulated nervous system, the more I kept those patterns alive, those fear-based patterns. And when I could start to slow down, before I started my car, I'd just sit there and breathe for a couple seconds. Whatever it was, I'd slow down how my pace of how fast I was walking when I was at work, or whatever it was. I found and created ways to just slow down and be mindful throughout the day. I realized that my day was more conscious, less compulsive. I was more present with myself, with life. I was bringing consciousness into life rather than just living reactively, urgently, impulsively. I was more in control of my life, but more importantly, I found more peace and mindfulness. I was able to regulate myself and down-regulate my nervous system in the middle of the day. It wasn't just meditating in the morning and going about the rest of my day unconsciously. It was bringing that mindfulness, that awareness into life, into my everyday. And this is a very powerful practice. In fact, I'd say it's the most important practice, to live consciously and to not live on autopilot anymore. The analogy I like to use is, imagine if you went to the gym because you wanted to be healthy, you wanted to be fit, maybe you wanted to lose some body fat. And so you went to the gym for half an hour a day, and you worked really hard in that half an hour. It was a great workout. But for the other 23 and a half hours, nothing you did supported a healthy, fit, lean body. You ate processed food, you didn't get good sleep, you were sedentary, whatever it was. You drank a lot, you smoked, whatever. Nothing you did was supporting the goals that you had. You probably wouldn't have the healthy, fit body that you wanted. The same is true with this. A lot of us want to live a more peaceful, content, regulated life. And, maybe we spend a few minutes in the day, in the morning or in the evening, meditating or reading a book or listening to a podcast or whatever that can help, bring awareness to ourselves or to our lives, or, help to regulate. But the rest of the day is spent living compulsively, not consciously, living on autopilot. So the power of just slowing down throughout the day is very, very profound. You'll find that things don't bother you as much. You'll find that stress doesn't get to you as much because you can regulate during the day rather than just, in the morning or in the evening or whenever you do it, or maybe never. So don't underestimate the power of conscious and consistent mindfulness. Little moments, create those little moments during the day. It doesn't have to be a 5 or 10 minute meditation all the time. It could just be a few breaths, a few conscious breaths here and there, slowing down how fast you're walking, slowing down your driving, not overstimulating your mind, finding moments of stillness and quiet, throughout the day and creating those moments, it really transforms your way of living and your level of consciousness that you bring to life. So, hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.